lot of the things that a lot of people run into is boredom. And they get uncomfortable with their thoughts. I don't remember any of my training the easy times. Like, I don't ever think that I've gotten anything away from those. And I think, like, diving back into that question is because sometimes the answers come out when you don't have anything to turn to. And that's kind of why I alluded to, like, I don't run and listen to music, because I have that's almost like a comforting thing for me. So I think, like, if you're in a discomforting area, if you are at a low point, your mind will seek to things that it needs to improve on. And you don't have that cushion there to go to. So I think if you remove that cushion and you get to the ultimate low, you got to find things that will get you through something. And then when you find that thing that gets you through something, you can use that again to get you even further. And I think that, like, dives back into, like, kind of, people describe it as like a pain cave. Like, you can use these tools in your mind that will make you push further.
Yeah. A lot of people are getting into running in the audience because Mark's been running like a madman, right? And you've been doing this for a while, but the no music thing is interesting. I wonder, can you remember to when you first started running, and you were choosing not to listen to music at that time too, right? What were some of the problems that you were coming across while you were running, like beginner stuff, that you maybe found a way to fix that a lot of people are dealing with? Because there's so many little things that happen when a beginner gets into running. And I think you probably have ways to go about it. Yeah.
A lot of the things that a lot of people run into is boredom. And they get uncomfortable with their thoughts. And it sounds crazy, but, like, when you start running and you don't have music, your mind is like, okay, I need something to distract me because this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to think, like, okay, I want to quit. But if I like to think about things either I have to work on or things that I'm grateful in my life. If I'm at a low point in the run, I think of things that I've accomplished, and it gives me confidence to keep pushing. Mm-hmm. That kind of sparks like a euphoria in me, and it gets, it just gets me through the run. So I think using tools like that and self-motivating yourself is something you learn only by not training with music, because you almost have to, like, soul search in a way.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is, like, recently I probably should start doing that when I'm running too, because recently I was realizing that there's so much of my day that is filled with some type of noise. I could be listening to an audiobook, or then some type of music, or I'm listening to something and learning something. But I found that and I've started having more time where I have nothing and I can just actually be alone with my thoughts. And during running is probably a place I need to do it too. But do you do that in other parts of your day too? Or is it mainly when you're running that you give yourself that time to think about things? And do you do that anywhere else in your day?
Yeah. Actually, when I lift, and this has only been of recent, probably the past three months, I started lifting without music. And like, sometimes it's on because I work out at the BPHQ. Sometimes it's on, but a lot of times I'm in there with no music. And I think I've just, like, preferred it because there's so many distractions for me throughout the day, and I think everybody can relate to that. Whereas when I work out, I just love being to my thoughts. And it sounds weird, but I just love, like, self-motivating. I'll think of stuff. I'll think of anything that, like, fires me up or, makes me want to just work hard. I just think it like made me, I don't know, appreciate, like, what I've accomplished, because I'll dig for those if I ever need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think being left with your own thoughts is, like, a really important thing.
Yeah.
Because you might have some self-doubt and then you talk yourself out of it. You might tell yourself to stop, or you might tell yourself, this is too heavy, this is too hard, you should go home. For me, I could think, oh, I wonder about the kids, or, like, I wonder what they're doing, and maybe I should be home, and, like, just any excuse to get me out of, like, whatever the hell it is I'm doing. And when you walk yourself through that process and you don't have something like music or a video or something playing in the background, you get to work your way through it literally, and you get to kind of calm yourself down and say, no, let me see if I can calm my breathing down. Oh, let me see if I can get my heart rate to go down. Let me see if I could, maybe I could just concentrate on this run. Maybe just run faster for a little while. Yeah. It's, like, hard to even concentrate on that if you have music going, or even sometimes listening to a podcast. But a podcast, I think, can be a little different, because you you can get lost in your run still by listening to a podcast because you don't have like a beat of music that can sometimes take over your stride.
Power Project family, we talk about meat all the time on the podcast because protein is essential for your health. That's why I partner with Piedmontese. And if you head to their website, they have so much different types of beef. They have beef sticks, beef jerky, tons of different cuts of meat. You should go check them out. Andrew, how can they learn more?
You guys got to head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. And at checkout, enter promo code POWER to save 25% off your entire order. And if your order is over $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
Yeah, and I do listen to podcasts too. That's one thing. I'll do that because sometimes, just not running with music all the time does get old, but just switch it up. Like, I'll do it, but I run the best when I have no music and no podcast because I can listen to my cadence, my feet hit the ground, and I just I'm in the moment. Your thoughts are powerful, man. You can really when you're just like suffering and thinking about yourself, you'll get some weird thoughts. Like you'll be like you'll kind of like discover things that you never thought about yourself. It forces you to, like I said, like analyze yourself in like a deep form. Like sometimes when I'm in a run and I remember back to my marathon prep, I would be like, why do I want to cut this run short? I remember thinking this one specific. Why do I keep wanting to cut these runs short? And I think like what I got out of that was because like I had trouble at the moment finishing things. I always wanted to cut things in my life short. So I made sure I finished every run.
You cut everything short, bitch. Right? You say that to yourself and you're like, yeah, you fucking, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you work your way through it.
I think it just came down to like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that reminded me of like, okay, if I'm going to cut this run short, I'm probably going to cut other things in my life short. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of how I just try to relate life to training.
Yeah.
So I make training deep.
Yeah.
But it's just like how I stay consistent, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But
for you, when did because I'm curious about the timeline of all of this. So you've been in that. Maybe you can take us back to like when you were younger, because you said you did sports, but you did this bodybuilding show 4 months ago and you've done a triathlon. So I'm just like, I want to know, how did you build up to these capacities? Like how'd you build up to this? Also, I'm going to take half of this. Kratom cheers.
Oh, wait. What do you
Kratom juice.
How do you do this?
Did you already do half? Just crack it open, maybe shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, because you want all the flavor on the bottom to come up to the top.
Yeah. Oh Lord, here we go.
Down the old hatch. I just did a half a roux.
You did a half a roux? I'll do a half.
But I took some capsule or pills too.
So is this gonna hit me like I'm on another planet?
I hope so.
Nathan, you gonna fly?
He loves the taste. He loves the taste.
it.
I thought this was like, wow, that's a little different than
That
what I was
earthy.
Very organic.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Or a nice way, I should say.
Hey, if you want to make Squirtle squirt, I know you're enjoying this content, so like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord below. Peace.